Hey yo, this is the Corner of the Circle. Nice little podcast with me, your host, LS McLean. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a nosy person. People are nosy. They want to know stories. They want to know what's going on in other people's lives. And yo, I am absolutely no exception. So sit back, relax, and let's just chill for a little bit. This is the Corner of the Circle. All right, we're on, ladies and gentlemen. We have with us a vixen, an athlete, not just any athlete, but the athlete. When it all goes down and the aliens come back and they look and they find out who is at the top of the genetic lottery game, Jessica Smith will be at the top of that. She is a former college athlete, a top tier athlete. She's a power lifter, strong man woman. She is the brainchild. She is the heartbeat. She is the lifeblood behind the whole Mark Bell slingshot line, the whole company. If she weren't around, the thing could not run the way it runs. You know her, you love her, you adore her. We've been able to document this tremendous glow up, and it's crazy because is there such thing as perfecting perfection? Well, you know what? Jess shows us how there is a such thing of that happening. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome to the Corner of the Circle podcast, Ms. Jessica Smith. Thank you so much for being on this thing. That was dope. Don't even front like that was one of the dopest intros ever. Yeah.
I was not expecting that. Hi.
Yeah.
I'm glad we can finally do this after a year.
Yeah, listen, and this is how, how nuts it is. For those of the people that are listening, you won't see it. For those of the people that are watching, you will literally notice I'm in front of a building. I'm actually in front of my gym. I'm supposed to do a little bit of cardio and a little bit of work before, I head to the Arnold. But I had to get this podcast in. It's been over a year in the making. It's been me begging and begging and begging. And her it's like, yeah, if I have time. Here's the thing. She never has time. This time she made time. And for that, I'm eternally grateful. I'm appreciative. This is as formal as I'm going to be this whole podcast, so I hope you enjoy it because it's all downhill from here. So for those of the people in the world that do not know who you are, it's highly unlikely, but for those of us that are living under the rock, tell us who you are, what you're about. You're on.
Yeah. I am the athlete and brand manager over at Mark Bell Slingshot. Any of the stuff that you see from athletes or influencers or whatever else, I'm the one that's usually getting it to them. And I make the big decisions on who gets what and who is who and what is what. I've been with Slingshot for over 3 years now. I've been lifting over at Super Training for probably almost 4 years now. When I started, I did not know what I was doing. I had only did like one competition. I did a USAPL meet that was in SACS somewhere. And then Silent Mike was my coach. And when he decided to leave the gym that he was coaching at, he took me with him. I told him I couldn't pay him. And he said, that's okay. Your state of mind is more important to me than the money. So he let me come train with him over at ST. Well, free.
Free 99.
Free 99.
Must be nice.
Probably within 3 to 4 months of me working out there, Mark was like, I want you to work for me. And I thought he was joking. That fool was not joking.
Nah, Mark doesn't joke like that.
No.
And now you're here, freaking making the big decisions of who gets what happens, who's who. That's crazy because I thought I was going to be a who's who, but it's never happened. So I guess I need to step my game up. It is what it is. You know what? I'm not even worried about it. Shout out to Mark Bell and everybody at ST. Hey. Anyway, so moving on, now that my feelings are completely hurt. So that's cool because you kind of killed the first.
Whoa.
What happened?
Who sends you stuff?
What are you talking about? You do. I'm sorry. I'm just talking trash because I can. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Shout out to everybody out there, and by everybody I mean Jess. Yeah, man. Like, here's a crazy thing, man. Because I honestly, I feel like we've known each other for forever, but we haven't really known each other that long. But we've like, I feel like we've known each other forever. And I was trying to think about it, when I was like, doing like my I guess my pre-podcast, brain session. Like, when did I meet Jess? You know what I mean? Like, and then like and it's weird because like as long as we haven't known each other, I feel like I've just known you. You know what I'm saying? And from like you texting me talking trash, or what I mean, or just being sweet to me, being nice to me. You know what I mean? You give me swag. I'm telling you right now, I still I haven't worn my Andre shirt yet. I won't wear it. It's too nice. It's too clean. It's too white. So I haven't. So I'm like, I'm saving it for him to sign it. And the one time that I was right next to him, I didn't have the balls to ask him to sign it. So I'm like, man, I'm gonna get that.
Wow.
I couldn't do
You
it.
really
I couldn't
dropped
do
the
it.
ball there.
I did. I just like I kind of mummed up. I was like, man, he's about to compete. Like, if somebody would come to me like, yo, bro, can you sign my shirt while I'm about to compete? I'll probably sign it. But I don't know how. Every athlete's different. Anyways, that's not about me. It's about you right now. So here of late, you have gotten into the strongman game, strongwoman game. Strongman, strongwoman. I don't even know how to say it right. Strongwoman, strongwoman.
Sure.
You
They
got
both work.
Yeah, you know what I mean. You're dope.
I'm not gonna get weird about like strong woman,
I don't know. I'm
strong
just
man. It
listen.
ain't weird. It's a sport. It is what it is.
All right. Okay.
It's
So
good.
you've gotten into, so like what sparked your interest? What sparked your interest with that? Like I've never really asked you, so I want to know like what's kind of sparked your interest to start the strongman woman game.
So, to be honest with you, I'm not a really good powerlifter. Um, I'm like okay at bench and I can kind of deadlift, but I mean, I don't know. It's always been interesting to me because no competition is the same.
Mm-mm.
Like, no two competitions will have the same events in the
Yeah.
same order with the same weights.
Right.
Nothing. Like every competition is different, which also like interests me. And two, like a lot of people that are close to me in my life are in the sport, so I feel like that kind of also helped me. Just that interest that I already had
Mm-hmm.
for the sport was there, and then they just pushed me over the edge,
Pretty
and
much,
they
yeah.
gave me a spot to be like, oh, I'll coach you, or I'll be there for you, or
Right.
whatever. And I was like, all right, time to go. So I
Well,
just,
yeah, and that makes a lot of sense. I mean, because like I said, you're definitely powerful. You know what I mean? And in terms of like just your build, I mean, because you're tall. You know what I mean? And so usually, just someone being that tall, that long, it doesn't necessarily lend itself to, hoisting a lot of weight in terms of powerlifting. But in terms of leverages, you have all the leverages. With strongman. So I mean, it makes sense. I think you're an amazing powerlifter, but I think I'm just partial because you're a homie. So that's that. But like, so you've gotten into it. You've got a comp under the belt. You know what I mean? You've gotten, a lot of, the how do you say it, the the pre-comps, I'm saying, knocked out and all that stuff. And like, where you want to take it? Like, is it just? I'm clearly it's not just a hobby. You know what I mean? But like, are you wanting to take it as like
right.
as far as you can take it? I mean, because it's based off of what I've seen. Like, you have hella potential, man. Like, I think you could be a beast at it. Like,
Thank you for, first of all, thank you. To be honest, I went into my first comp and I had 4 weeks to prepare, and
right,
I hadn't touched any of the implements
right,
one time. Like I touched an axle bar like 2, maybe 3 times before the event. I never moss wrestled before. Um, the yoke I barely touched. I haven't done too much, and they definitely hadn't done the weight that they were looking for.
right.
So I don't know, like definitely really uncomfortable and totally scary for me.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know. I think you're right. I think I could be good, but also like there's one thing about strongman that I don't know if I'm willing to go as far as I need to go to get to be the best.
Yeah. I feel you.
I just don't know if I'm ready to make that decision. Like
Yeah. Yeah. I completely get
I
that.
Yeah, like I mean, it's fun, and I want to be competitive. I want to
Yeah,
go out. It's not like I'm just going to compete and like no, like I want to win.
yeah,
I'm a competitive person. I want to win, but also like there are things that I'm not just willing to do
yeah,
to get to the top spot.
yeah.
So I just accept that and kind of work with.
Yeah, and who knows? I mean, like I said, the one thing that I've noticed with you in terms of just how you're built, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of there's a shout out to all the ladies that are doing strongman, but there's a lot of people, at the top that I mean they have huge frames and they do whatever it takes to be at the top. But the one thing I've noticed is just if you stack yourself, next to a lot of them, you're just as agile. You know what I mean? You're just as strong. And your frame has just as much potential, if not more potential. You know what I mean? Just where you're at. You know what I mean? And so that's one of the things that I kind of noticed. Like, because honestly, I can be honest with you, and all the time I've ever known you, I've never thought like, just get murder at strongman. I never thought about it. You know what I mean? And then when I saw that you like were making that decision to do it, I'm like, oh, say word. That could that's a good look. No joke, for real. So like, I don't know, like and then we talk often, but it's never something that I bring up when we talk, because it's usually like, I don't know, like, you're my friend. You know what I mean? So like, the last thing I really want to talk about is powerlifting and strongman and athletics. Like, we literally talk about everything else, I think, but so I don't know. I just think that's dope. But I want to talk about that. I want to talk about like legit how you just even started. So clearly you had an athletic background, yeah? like like
Yeah.
so what got you from, and I guess we can talk about the humble beginnings, but like what, like how did you go from, I guess, competing in college and all that stuff to like, I just want to lift weights, like what was that transition?
That transition was probably harder than I'd like to admit.
Hmm.
And like also a lot more like it wasn't like some Cinderella story, like
Yeah.
I got out of college. I rode crew in college. For those that don't know, um, I was pretty freaking good.
Yeah.
I did like summer racing, like elite racing camps across the country over on the East Coast because that's where it's super
Yeah, it's
big.
huge over there.
It was huge, and I had come off like a killer season my senior year. Like I broke a bunch of the school records for like our fitness stuff,
Yeah.
and coming from like being hyper competitive and like wanting to be the best and like doing all of that and then ending my career because just I wasn't willing to also spend the amount of money and time to continue on because rowing is kind of a bougie sport,
Just a little
and
bit.
it ain't cheap. Yeah, it's bougie and it ain't cheap. And I just wasn't really willing to do that to keep going. But I decided after college I was gonna like let loose, and I started partying and I started
Hey.
doing the things that I didn't do in college because I was a good like I just wanted to be good in school and I
Hmm.
wanted to be good in my sports, so I didn't like go out and party and do all that shit.
Hmm.
So moving forward, I was like, all right. So I started letting loose, and then I needed to figure something out
Yeah.
because my emotions and like my depression and anxiety were getting real bad. So I was
Hmm.
like, well, what's something that I could do?
Right.
And I turned to the gym. Turned to the gym, and at first it started with just like strength and conditioning style classes that I was doing, and then it turned into like lifting weights, and then I saw this powerlifting class that Silent Mike was coaching, and I was like, that looks dope. I want to do that.
Yeah, you did.
And then I just jumped and I did it.
That's what's
It was
up.
totally scary, yeah.
Like, all right, so I damn, I'm just, this, I got a lot of stuff coming now. Like, just as you're talking about, oh, this, and this. So I want to rewind it a little bit because I don't know a thing about crew. I know nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? I'll be, and like a lot of us, like, I've seen it. I've seen the girls like, yo, she's dope, but that's all I know about it. Like, how did you get into crew? And for those of the people that don't know, could you kind of explain crew just a little bit, and then also
Yeah.
how you got into it?
Okay. So let's just start on how I got into it. So I was in high school.
Uh huh.
I played basketball, volleyball, club volleyball, track and field. Like I did all that. And then there was an email that came in from the coach of CSUS, so California State University, Sacramento,
Right.
saying, "Hey, we're looking for rowers. Um, we start out with like paying tuition if you want to like give it a try, and we're looking for the ideal woman like body is 5'10" or higher, and I'm almost 6'1".
Yes, you are.
Has an athletic background, great recommendations from coaches, good grades, and I had all of those.
Okay.
And to be honest, I wasn't even gonna go to college. Like I probably would have went to the JC and played volleyball there because like no one in my family's ever gone to college, and I didn't apply to any colleges or anything like that. Like I was smart and I got really good grades, but like I didn't apply to go to college literally anywhere.
That's
And then
crazy.
I know, and then this email came in. It is crazy to think like I almost didn't go to college, which is fine.
Yeah.
But it was weird to think like you did all the things that you needed to do in high school to
Right.
go to college, and I didn't even apply. Like I didn't give a flying F. So I was like, whatever.
You can curse.
So
You're
I
fine.
just gave up my teacher at the time forced me to go to the counselor's office and then made him call the coach.
That's what's up.
So we called him, got an official visit set up, and then one day we had a field trip somewhere to Merced, and my dad and mom decided to pick me up from that field trip and then finish the trip up to SAC, and I went to my official visit there.
That's what's up.
So I went to a practice. I'd never rowed before in my life. I went to practice. I saw how they did weights. I saw the facilities. It's beautiful, by the way. The lake is beautiful. And all the facilities were beyond anything. They were super nice. The brand new weight room, brand new field, brand new everything. It was so nice. And I just decided, well, like, what am I gonna do? Stay here in Bakersfield?
Right.
Hell no. Hell no. So I was like, all right, I'll just do it. So I just went ahead and took like a huge leap of faith. Didn't know anyone. Joined this school, joined this new sport, and I went to college.
That's what's up. That's
So
dope.
rowing. So rowing, if you're unaware, is when you're in the boats, like a racing shell.
Yeah.
So it's the really long boats. It's one seat stacked behind each other. Your feet lock into shoes that are tied into the boat.
What?
You tie because your feet stay stationary and your seat moves.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm sure you've seen So it's actually, the ergs.
Yeah.
Well, people call them rowers in the gym. That's basically what it looks like inside the boat.
Oh, that's a bed. Okay, I got you.
And then there's oars. I was a sweep rower, so I only had one oar, and I was a starboard, so I went out to the left.
That's crazy. I didn't even know.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I'm like in my head. I'm like, all right. I'm trying to picture it. That's just dang. And so you did that, and you did well. That's crazy.
Yeah, I did really well. I was sat 5 or 6, and that is technically called the engine room. Just like super powerful, then I wouldn't like mess the ends up. So if you sat more towards the back or the front, you have like an impact on how the boat moves. If you're too
powerful,
the person that's pairing with you isn't as strong, like it can move the boat.
So it's a lot of
it's
a lot of it's based on a lot of chemistry, a lot of like syncopated rhythm. That's dope, man. I'm glad look at you giving me education. All right, I want to dig into something that you talked about before, like the post college, just kind of going wild and everything, and like how the depression and anxiety kind of kicked in. I'll be the first to admit I don't really suffer from like depression or anxiety. A lot of people that know me know like I'm everywhere. But there are a lot of our numbers, a lot of the population, a high percentage of the population that do have bouts of depression and anxiety. Like, and I know there's a lot of people out there that not necessarily just just women that suffer from it, but men as well. But um, as far as you necessarily, just with you being a woman, especially in a sport that can easily, cause a lot of that to kind of kick up, a lot of that to, especially with the, anxiety and everything, not just with competition, but just with body image and a lot of stuff that goes on. What's, obviously you said the gym, was a big part of your escape. Like, for those of, I guess for those out there that are kind of suffering from that, like what are some of the steps that you've taken to kind of, to deal with that, to, in your battle with that?
Um, I mean, it's kind of twofold. So, initially I had just this major anxiety because I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life.
Right, right,
And one of my biggest fears is to be unsuccessful,
right,
to be homeless.
right,
Like that's like one of my greatest fears, like
right,
to live on the street.
right.
Like, granted, I did not grow up rich. We did not grow up well off. Like
Right.
we grew up poor.
Yeah.
Um, and as I grew up, my dad started moving his way up. My dad was a truck driver,
Right.
and he moved himself up
Right.
into a managerial position.
Right.
So, and I didn't see my dad a lot when I was a
Right.
kid. And my mom, she was running her own business and doing manicure. She was a manicurist. So
Right.
like, it's not like I grew up in this house of privilege or anything.
Right.
But I just had this anxiety that I would be wildly unsuccessful,
Yeah.
and I just didn't want that to happen.
Right.
And I needed a place to kind of like anchor me.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't necessarily just like the weights; it was the community
Mm-hmm.
that came with it. So just building relationships really helped.
Yeah.
The relationships that I built in the gym were probably the most helpful for combating my anxiety and
Right.
my depression,
Right.
because like they were the reason why I was like, all right, time to go to the gym today. Not because like I wanted to go lift, but because
Right.
like I
Because
wanted
you,
to see my
yeah.
friends.
Right. So like that's something that I mean, and maybe that's why I've never really had to, I mean, maybe I've had a bout with it before. Maybe maybe I haven't. I don't know. But that's one thing that I've always kind of leaned on, because I have always been a part of a team, or I've always had someone or some people to lean on. Sorry, there's a train back there. Is there's always a sense of community in all the sports I've been involved with, even with powerlifting. Like I was part of a gym. I was part of a group of guys that actually brought me in and wanted me to be a part of something. So maybe that's why I've never really, had to deal with it. I mean, there's a lot of people that it almost lies dormant because you're not necessarily exposed to the type of stimulus, to kind of bring it out. And then when it does happen, I mean, one of my best friends, he had a panic attack, and then come to find out he had like, severe bouts of anxiety, had no idea what it was. And, but that's one of the things that I don't even know if that I have a fear of it. But that's always kind of been one of my things, because I do have a lot of friends like yourself that that do find ways and have had ways of countering the anxiety and the depression. And I'm always afraid, like, one day it's gonna hit me like, hey, by the way, I've been waiting. You know what I mean? And I just
Mm-hmm.
I always, my heart always goes out, to people, that do have to deal with it, because some people, like yourself, you are able to find a community, you are able to find remedies of balance, things of that nature, and you're able to, not necessarily dig yourself out of the dirt, but you're able to, pick yourself up and keep rolling, because you do have people that care about you. And I think that's a huge thing. At least, dealing with my boy James was, he's like, I know now that I have people that love me. I know I have people that care for me. I know that, I'm not alone, and I think that was one of the things he always kept saying, is like, I always feel like I'm alone. I'm alone. I'm alone. And, that no one cares. And I don't
Yeah.
know, like, and when, I guess when that you're a part of a community, and again, this is only me speaking from, from what I've, experienced with my boy, because I don't know, like, each person's, journey is obviously, it's personal. But one of the things that I've noticed is, the more people that tend to rally around you, the more people that tend to, almost have your back, so to speak. It seems like that helps a bit. Um, you know, for you know, for people like myself, that aren't necessarily aware of how to help, or may not know how to help. Like, what would be something that I could do in terms of having a friend with depression or having a friend that has, battles with anxiety? What's something that I could do to like, to help them?
Just let them like focus in on the moment,
Hmm.
the now. Because anxiety is focusing on the stuff that is not happening like right now, but
Right.
like it's kind of out of your hands type
Right.
deal. So just remind people that it's focus in on this one thing that you have, and then everything else will kind of fall into place. Like you're focusing on things that you really can't control.
Right.
That's where anxiety, I feel like anxiety comes from. Because you're always like, what
Right.
if, Instead, it just needs to be like, hey, like let's maybe just a way is like having a goal.
Hmm.
So that's when like weights comes into play,
Right.
or like um, having a competition or whatever it is. It's like, oh, well, I'm working towards this. So like your mind thought process is now on what do I need to do to get there?
Right.
What do I need to do to squat that much or
Right.
bench or whatever it is for you. Um, and you can focus in, and that's where your focus and attention goes to, not on all the other bullshit that you
Right.
can't control, and that's what gives you the anxiety. Like focus in on the one thing that you can and what you're working towards, and it gives you something to kind of like look forward to instead of like dread.
That's a bet. That's a bet. Yo, look at us. We're getting. All right, so I do. I have like so many questions in my brain, and I'm just gonna keep firing them. Um, One thing I have noticed, is the longer I've known you, you know what I mean. Like I'm pretty sure. I guess I met you right when you started with Slingshot. Yeah, I think you had just
Yes.
kind of started. Um, and you were doing your thing, and I mean, working your ass off and everything like you always do. Like you honestly, and those are the people that don't know your job. Like your job is not easy. And I definitely want to dig a little bit into the details a little bit later. But right now, I want to talk about is I want to talk about like what people say to you now, like as opposed to when you first started and right now, because I know, I mean, I can't even imagine like the DMs you get. I can't even imagine the sponsor me questions that you get all the time. Because I know you get them. Like I have friends like, yo, do you think you could talk to a foreman? Like, nah, that's not gonna happen, partner. But thanks for asking. Um, what's what has been the I can't say the weirdest thing, but what the athlete now is a lot different now than when you first started. Um, like it seems like there's a lot more. Hey, what can you give me? Give me, give me. Like what's been some of the kind of the trends that you've noticed in terms of just being kind of at the head of the table, just kind of seeing like how athletes kind of approaching this whole sponsor me thing, give me stuff type stuff.
So let's just start somewhere. When I started as a customer service rep
True.
with Mark Bell.
Right.
I did not start in that at all. Like
Right.
I was still new to the sport. I
Right.
didn't know what products were. Like I started at the bare bottom, like
Right.
customer service. And then within 6 months, I started dabbling in social media. So
Right.
I was doing social media and I was doing customer service.
Right.
And then it turned into I was the director of social media for a couple years.
Right.
So I was the one posting and communicating with these athletes. And then I worked and I took Smokey's job and I started doing all the athlete stuff.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of what my job has formed into,
Right.
less of the social media stuff, more of the athlete stuff.
Right.
So from the start, it was like, hey, let's hook these people up. Let's give them everything we got, type deal. And now it's getting so big. We have so many people that it's, uh, we get DMs that range from like super professional, like, hey, I'm just curious. Or well, something as casual as like, hey, I'm just curious, like what your qualifications are. We've kind of always gotten those.
Mm-hmm.
But then some is super professional, like Rob Hall.
Mm-hmm.
Rob Hall, he sent me like the dopest email. It
Mm-hmm.
was so professional. It was so professional.
Right.
Like resume, just like listed off like every,
Yeah.
the things that he's done, what he can offer. And like I was like, that's what I'm looking for. But I get people that I'm trying not to be rude. But it is a very like, what can you do for me?
Yeah.
Give me. Hey, you know, like I wear your stuff all the time. Like you guys should just send me stuff. Like
Oh
I
yeah.
get that all the time. All the
Casual.
time.
That's casual. Hey, by the way, you should just send me something free. And I can't. You know
Uh
what? I can't talk trash because I have been on the fortunate end. You guys have sent me stuff, and I rock it as much as I can. Um, and I can honestly say, man, it's a it's an honor and privilege for any athlete to be sent anything from any company. Like, do understand it's and so for those people that are reaching out, I mean, I get it because it's not enough anymore. I've noticed in terms of just athletes in general, it's not enough anymore just to have the stuff. I mean, because pretty much at this point, as the popularity of power sports, as string sports grows, people are going to get what they need to get. You know what I mean? And as far as I know, there's maybe 4 or 5 really just high quality companies. I mean that put out great stuff. You guys being one of them. And so for athletes now, it's like, okay, not only everyone has access to the high quality stuff. Now it's like, what separates me from everyone else? What's my point of differentiation? Now I can buy it just like you, or that tag of like, you know what? They sent me this. They sent me this. Oh, you bought yours? That's dope. But they sent me this. So, I mean, and it's cool because, I mean, you're a huge part of raising the status of a brand and a brand's products to where it's not just, it's not just enough to buy the stuff, but now it's more of a badge of honor on top of that to have the stuff sent. Like, yo, by the way,
I wish people thought of it like that,
that's how I
because
think
that
of
is
it.
definitely not. No, because I get people that are like, "Hey, will you send me this, this, and this, and this, and this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you know what, dude? You take care of us, I'll take care of you." And then it just becomes like this really selfish thing
Oh.
where the people really overvalue what they can offer,
Mm-hmm.
and then like there are things that we do that are put in place where we can kind of like test someone like what they are actually worth,
Yeah.
and the return is a lot less than people give themselves credit for.
Oh, without a
um
doubt. Without a doubt. Without a
and
doubt.
that's not me trying to be rude. Like people view themselves and value that. You know, I think everyone should value themselves,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that everyone should have a very like high end of like what they
Yeah.
think that they're worth.
Yeah, without a doubt.
100%, I am all about that, because if you can't dream, you can't achieve. I
Right.
bet. But what I don't appreciate is when people like really overvalue
Mm-hmm.
themselves, but also aren't willing to put in the work to give it back. Because
Yeah.
the whole point of sending stuff out is not only to help the sport grow and bring awareness
Mm-hmm.
to people and the brand, and because this is you know what, NB Slingshot, like we are more than just a powerlifting gear company.
Yeah, very much
Like
so.
we are a movement. We do so much free content. We do uh, like free seminars
Yeah.
and just whatever you name, like you name it, we do it. And we do it not at the value of like, hey, we're just here to make a buck. Like we're actually here to like get a barbell in everyone's hands
Yeah.
and like show people that they can lift through
Right.
whatever adversity they're going through in their life. um, and that's what sets us apart from other
True.
companies, uh, in my head. But yeah, I get a lot of people who just want to take,
Yeah.
but the return, the ROI is really
Yeah,
low.
and I think that's a part that people have to understand. It's a business, and I mean, while it's awesome, like you said, to value yourself. A lot of people overvalue themselves to a point that it's almost a bit ridiculous. And like for me, I mean, you're well aware of my sponsorships and things like that. So when you guys do send me stuff, I'm like, well, I might not be able to, post it here and there and everywhere. I can make sure that my people go and grab that stuff. And so you can literally walk through my gym right now and see, 6 or 7 people that have, they have the all black knee sleeves, or they have the all white joints, or you know what I mean, or like they have a slingshot. Like the first thing I told my gym, like when we started doing overload work, because I was doing a bunch of bench programs for a lot of guys, like everyone needs to get a slingshot. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so for me, I'm like, awesome. They may not see like LS McLean's name, but they will literally see New Braunfels, Texas. Cibola, Texas, San Antonio, Texas, Austin, Texas. They'll see all these, all these Central Texas orders come. I'm like, you know what? Thank you guys for the love that you show. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times it's not just the social media that you post, but it's the word of mouth. And regardless of what people think, word of mouth travels just as fast as any social media. And so for me, it's always been a thing where, like, you know what? I know for a fact that you don't have to do it. I know that you don't have to do it. You know what I mean? But, and I literally will tell you to your face, nah, Jess, I'm good. Don't worry about it. And you're like, no, Bubba, I want to give you this. And I think what people to understand, it's one thing, to have a friend and it's another thing to have a friend that's in a position like you're in, but it's also a thing to have a friend and you need to, not necessarily have to be, but to be able to reciprocate the love and honestly, just the generosity that someone shows you. And I think it's so easy, like, hey, thank you, I'm out, and not try to reciprocate, the love and respect that's shown and given. And so for me, anytime I've received anything from anyone, like, in order to make sure that there's something given back in return, like, listen, my goal is always, if you give me a pair of sleeves, I'm going to make sure that I get at least 2 people to buy those sleeves. If you send me a slingshot, not only, and that's one thing I know I can wear that anywhere. I'm gonna make sure that people see me throwing up stupid weight in that slingshot, either in the gym, at another gym, and I'm gonna tell them about it. And I just think, like, for athletes, you know what I mean, that, it's easy to return the favor by just thinking, what is it like? What would it be like if I were on the other end? Because at the end of the day, it is a business. And if products aren't sold, if people don't see the brand, if people don't see what's going on, then somebody's light's going to shut off. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And that's,
and it turns from, like, hey, and over time, it has started to slowly turn from, like, hey, can you get me this, this, and this, to, like, okay, but, like, what are you gonna pay me?
yes.
And that is the transition that I have started to notice,
Yeah.
like, people who have never worn our gear before but want us to pay them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, we have never done that.
Yeah.
We don't pay people like
No,
that.
it's not.
Like, we've only Mark has literally only sponsored world champions.
Mm-hmm.
We get people that have, like, a couple thousand followers, just got into the sport. It's like, hey, can you give me this? It's like,
Nah,
what?
man. And it's
Like, Mark
weird.
literally sponsors world champions.
Yeah, man.
The guy that won the CrossFit Games, Ben Smith, like, freaking Brian Shaw,
Yeah.
4-time world strongest man.
Yeah.
Like,
you have to have a resume, and it can't just be any resume. It has to be the resume, and even then, it's not a guarantee. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and then it's like, oh, well, I got Instagram clout. It's like, yeah, but how engaged are your people?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. Fucking Nick Wright, that boy right there.
Yeah.
He has, like, maybe 60,000 on Instagram, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little less. I'm not really sure. That fool fucking works.
Yeah.
And he works for us, and he goes in.
Yeah.
And whatever he needs, I'll take care of it.
Without a doubt.
Because he puts in work.
Yeah.
And it may not look like he's got, it's like, we're not after clout. We're not after people with big social media followings or whatever. Like Ben Poor. He is a USAPL boy.
Mm-hmm.
He's my favorite because when I started following him and I sent him stuff, he had like 2,000 followers or something.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this boy, he's going to be something big. He's going to be a champ. He's going to be a USA IPF champ.
Yeah.
He's going to be a world freaking champ.
Mm-hmm.
Just give him some time. Give him a few years. Let him come into his own. And, like, now he's got over 10,000 followers, and, like, he's loyal to us. And
man,
because, like, I invested in him because I saw something in him.
Yeah, man, and that's, like, at the end of the day,
that's
what it takes.
That man's gonna come in and sweep.
Oh, word up! And that's what it's about. And I think you catch them early, you build brand loyalty. You build brand loyalty, then you have a soldier that's willing to fight for you no matter what. And at the end of the day, that's what it's about. It's about having people out there that are willing, to put it down for the brand. And again, I think the coolest thing you mentioned, it's not about the IG clout. It's not about the social media clout. Because at the end of the day, you got 1 million followers, bet. Have you stepped on a podium? Matter of fact, like, have you been a top 3? Have you won anything? You know what I mean? Like, what's your work ethic? I mean, if you work as hard in the gym as you do on your IG clout, you might mess around and be a champion. Who knows? But like a lot of people, they value that IG clout, they value that social media, you know. And don't get me wrong, it's dope to have a social media presence, but I've yet to find anyone who's, you know, whose social media presence determines if they get on the podium or not.
Yeah.
Determines, like, you know, if they go 9 for 9, or determine if, you know, if they win, you know, World Strongest Man. Like, it doesn't work that way. A lot of times it comes as a result of the work you put out and you making it on a platform. That's when you start getting the clout. So, but I think a lot of people sometimes they get that mixed up. Now, you mentioned the IPF, and I wanted to dig in this because I don't think people understand how arduous that task was to get that IPF approval. Like, and I know it took a long shut up. It took a long time. I know it took a long time. It was a long, arduous process to have that happen. You know, and it was cool. It's cool being friends with somebody that's going through the process. You know what I mean? And I don't even remember what I said. I think I was like, "Girl, it's not gonna be easy," but you know what I mean. I'm like, "It's not gonna be easy," but and I know it wasn't easy. Like, while you don't have to go in grave detail of everything, man, just kind of,
Because
if
I can't.
I
But
know, right? I tried to set it up nice, you know what I mean? But you know, kind of give a few highlights of that that task without, obviously, you can't go into grave detail at all. But just some highlights that you're able to kind of talk about, you know, with that kind of the little bullet points, the major bullet points that you can talk about, kind of going through that leads us to present day.
um, I don't know. Like, I mean, us even getting approved the first time, which a lot of people are unaware of, and then they took it away.
Hmm.
Uh, we were approved, and then they decided to change their mindset. No,
Nah, nah, nah,
no, not today. Just kidding.
nah.
And then like took it away. That was like hard, I think, on Mark and Andy and the company as a whole. Like they worked really hard for that, and to
Yeah,
just have it kind of taken sucked. And then years and years
yeah,
and 4 years later, then like it was up for
yeah.
renewal.
Right,
We worked as a team to make sure that they got everything that they needed to
hmm,
um, get over there, and it's a whole thing. Like we send it to South Africa or
right.
wherever,
Yeah,
and that guy goes through and cuts them apart and tests the thickness and does all the
yeah,
tests that they need to do. And we were in constant communication with
right.
them from the beginning, and everyone was like, "Yeah, we're good to go." I'm sure you saw the fiasco that had happened after we had gotten approved,
Oh yeah,
and then we got in trouble because we called them out.
yeah. Yeah, you did. But I mean,
I mean, we have emails that said, "I don't know why these would not be approved."
right,
Like there are other companies that have similar things on the inside of their stuff,
right.
so we're not really sure why it would be an issue. And then it was, um, and no comment on it was an issue, although I know why. Uh, you know,
Yeah.
whatever. When
It
you're at the top, you got a bullseye on your back. It's fine.
I can't stand you. But yeah, man, I know that you put in a lot of work, man.
Dude, and Mark crushed it. Like he made the decision. It was Mark's decision, by the way.
Mhm,
Once those were unapproved,
mhm,
um, once that shit was taken back again, Mark made the decision, and it was like very an
yeah,
instant. There was no second guessing. Mark was like, "No, we're gonna make a new sleeve, and every person that ever purchased an X sleeve gets a free pair
that's what's up.
of the approved ones."
Yeah,
And that was Mark. That was Mark's call, and it
yeah,
was instant. There was no second guessing, nothing.
right.
That was all Mark, and he was like, "Done." Like
Yeah,
we can't. There's no other way to go around it. So for
yeah,
those of you that don't know, we had the X sleeve get approved with a grippy.
yeah. With the grip on the
Those were
inside,
approved,
right?
and then they said, "Nah, that ain't approved," even though it was on the contract that we all signed. Um, and highlight and everything. Anyway,
You think you're so? I can't stand you.
So, so it got approved and then it got disproved. So then they just said, hey, if you want to make a similar sleeve, just take the grip out.
Take the
And
rib
Mark
out.
was like, okay, bet. Made a new sleeve,
And by the
changed it.
way, let's give everybody
And
they
by
have.
the way,
Yeah,
every person that ordered an X sleeve up until this point will get a free pair of the new approved
yeah.
sleeves. So,
Yeah, because I
yeah,
mean, I think after everyone saw that they were approved, like, oh, let me get them because they are swaggy, dog. They are swaggy.
a
If
little
you,
flossy, a little
man, they're
drippy.
so that's like ooh, hoo, hoo, hoo. Boy, listen, they're nice. I mean, and here's the cool thing, man. Like, shout out to all of these companies that have like powerlifting gears, like you know what I'm saying, it's got some swag to it, you know. And I can tell, I can say honestly that you guys are in the forefront of really putting out like just fire looking gear. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Just wait. You have no idea what we have coming. It's
man, I
so
know, bro. I don't even want to know because it just makes me mad because I see people rock. I'm like, yo, I want that. Oh, I want that. Oh, I want that. Like I
You saw the new camo joints that we got?
no, you know,
We
camo.
dropped we dropped two new camo colors in the gangster wrist wraps.
Oh
Are
man,
we making matching knee sleeves and elbow sleeves, dog?
I can't
What?
stand you, man. You think you're so slick right now. Ooh, the game's about to change.
Three three new camo
Oh
colors.
my gosh, you about to get a nice
And it's
email.
custom made. We made the camo in house.
Say word. So like, yeah,
We
like
made the camo pattern so we don't have to lease it out or anything like it. It's
that's what's
one
up.
of a
That's perfect.
kind.
I mean, you got to do that sometimes. I am so mad right
These are
now.
like a year in the making. I sent this email out like a year ago. Hey, we should make some camo sleeves. And then like a year in the making. Now we have someone who like custom made a pattern for us in house. And
I would
there
like to
was
think
lots of samples back and forth that, kept going back and forth, but we finally got it right.
I would like to think that I have
Um,
something to do with that since camo is my color. You already know what it is. I'm about to paint my truck camo. By the way, yeah. What you? Oh, okay. I got a hater right now. I got a hater right now, ladies and gentlemen. That's all right.
Camo is my color.
You already know what it. You know what? I'm not gonna argue with you right now. I don't need this. So we're at a point right now. Like I said, I definitely, I like I said, I if you look when I first started lifting, man, it was legit just really Titan and Enzer. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and they had their colors and that was it. You know what I mean? And I mean, and they still put out a super quality product. You know what I mean? SBD, they put out a quality product, and A7 came in the game. You know what I mean? They put out a quality product. And Slingshot was really one of the first, to really start like, all right, we're gonna put out a quality product, but we're also gonna throw a little twist to it. We're gonna throw some baller ass patterns in there. We're gonna make sure, I mean, I have the OG, those OG camo gangster rap set. Them dang man, I still have those bad boys, and I remember, yo, this is camo. I didn't even know they made camo, and I think you guys really started kicking the door in terms of like, you know what, you can still have quality product, but can you still, because people get tired of wearing the same black, or they get tired of wearing the same gray. Like, let's add some colors to it. Let's add a splash of color. And then like the next thing you know, like, SBD starts throwing some splash of color here. Then A7 starts throwing a splash of color. And then next thing you know, Titan starts like, you know what, we got you too. So like it's been cool. Like, I really feel like people forget, like, while it is a business and everyone's fighting to get to the top, there's room for everyone at the top. And at the same time, that rising tide is going to raise all ships. So I think that's the one thing that people, tend to forget. Because, like, while, you have people that, what, I'm team Slingshot, or I'm team SPD, or I'm team A7, or I'm team Titan, or what have you, they're, at the end of the day, if everyone, one, is raising the quality of the product, which everyone is doing, that's protecting the lifter. Two, not only are you raising the product, but you're also raising like the quality and the style of it. So now you're not, not everyone has, the they don't have the burden of looking the same as the person next to them. Like, there is a chance for you to be an individual. And I think at the end of the day, people forget, while this is, a sport where, you're trying to get your numbers and everything, it's still an individual sport. And people still want to, be able to express who they are, and, how they live, and, the personality that they have by what they wear. So at the end of the day, I mean, it's all a bit of vanity. So if I'm gonna go out there and people are gonna watch me, they need to see me swag the F out. You know what I mean? And you guys have really been at the forefront in terms of like, oh, you want to swag out? Okay, what do you want? We got it all. And I mean, I don't know that there's a line. I mean, because I checked, I don't know that there's another high quality, company line that has so much in terms of variety and so many options. And I think you guys have been really almost the godfathers of options in terms of we can give you any color, damn near any pattern in any way, and we can give you a variety of ways to do it in a variety of different sleeves. Um, like, is that just is that just kind of like the company motto, the company mantra is to provide or is that just a part of the culture that Mark's kind of set, like, because he was he was one of the best in the game for a long time, and I know for me as a lifter, I always want to have an option. I always want to be able to look, as good as I can with what I have. And if you're limited, you got to figure out a way. Like, is that just kind of a thing that Mark, just kind of echo through the halls? Like, we want to provide, the lifter, the customer with as many options as possible, or is that just something that you guys
Well, yeah.
kind of lean towards?
Well, yeah, just because like we did start with like a powerlifting base and like an understanding, but as we've gone along, like Mark is about getting the lay person in the gym and getting them to pick up a barbell, and they don't need, certain crazy sleeves or wrist wraps, or, like weightlifting is different, CrossFit is different. They need different levels of support. So it's like, why not capitalize on that and get, every person and their needs filled? And like, that's why we have so many different wrist wraps. It's like every person has a different preference, length, stiffness, color, whatever, softness. Like it's all kind of tied into one. Like, we can't just sit still and keep doing the same thing,
Innovation.
It'll never work. Innovation. And it's the same stuff with like, how much we've evolved with like even just our content and our YouTube stuff. Like,
oh yeah, I hear to that.
Well, it's like we can't just keep having powerlifters on. Love them to death, but they're boring as shit.
Yeah, I get that. I get that.
And like, there's only so many times you can hear about someone and how they squat, and like, people want to get mad at Mark for being like, oh, well, you never have lifters on. It's like, no, we have world champs on. We have people that have done something, have built something, have built other people,
like, I mean, in order to have, like, you want to have people that have had impact. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. I mean, I get what you're saying. I mean, because like I said, no one wants to eat. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's awesome to eat brownies, but no one wants to eat brownies every single day. You know what I mean? Like, you want variety. You want a chance to get a variety out there. I mean, like, variety is a slice of life. So I definitely get that. I only have a few more questions, man, and I'm gonna get out of here, and they're gonna be good. I'm just joking. So I'm gonna go with the traditional questions. First question: you have a Mount Rushmore. It could be impact. It could be presence. It could be style. It could be whatever. Strength, performance. Who is, and where are your 4 people on your Mount Rushmore?
My dad.
Yeah, he's a.
For one.
Oh yeah.
He works so hard, know. Papa will be on there forever.
I'm with that.
Let's see. In terms of, God, I still wish I had more time for this, because,
No, it's not an easy one. It seems like such a simple question, and then you start thinking about it, you're like, oh, like, this person does this, this, and this, and then make me feel this way, this way, this way. Yeah, man.
I would also say that based on humor, I feel like she's my spirit animal. Melissa McCarthy, I would put her on my.
Okay.
Just because she has such a good, or Ellen DeGeneres, because their energy is so it's so spirited, and
Man.
it just makes everybody else. It turns everybody else in the room on.
I would have to give the edge to Ellen.
Yeah.
I would have to definitely give the edge to Ellen.
So the reason why I say that is because like their thermostats, they change the temperature of the room when they walk in.
Well put.
That's a JP term. JP Price term.
JP Price. Shout out JP. He's been on here. He's been on here a couple times.
I know. Shoot, who else?
So we taking them both? We going Papa, Ellen, and Melissa, or are we going?
Let's just do Papa and Ellen.
Okay, Papa and Ellen.
Let's see, who's a goat besides the goat? Yeah. I mean Eddie. He's pretty good. He's pretty up there for me. But he also texts me regularly to check in on me.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's a part.
He's a real dude.
Let's talk about that real quick before we finish with the Rushmore. I don't think people really understand. Like Eddie is one of the greatest that ever touched a bar, without a doubt. Arguably the greatest to ever touch a barbell.
Can you imagine? Can you just imagine for like 1 second if Eddie was lifting now? Versus back then.
Oh, it'd be a wrap.
Unreal.
He would be untouchable. He was untouchable.
He was lifting in like ace bandages.
Yeah, like if Eddie was lifting now, it would be an absolute wrap for the game. And I think that's what people have to understand in terms of his impact, not just as a lifter, but as a man. And I will, like I said, and this is God's honest truth. When I won my first world championship, Eddie was the first person, and mind you, I know for a fact that it was like 3, 4, 5 a.m. in the States. I know for a fact Eddie was the first, before my mama and daddy. Eddie was the first person to tell me congratulations. Not once. He did it on Facebook and he did it on IG. And I remember I was riding in the car, I'm like, oh my God. And I just started bawling. Dude,
yeah.
And I think, and it could have been anyone, but the fact that it was Eddie that was the first person to tell me congratulations, like from back home, that meant more to me than people will ever understand. And so,
he loves the sport. He freaking loves the sport. Like, it doesn't matter if you're natty, if you're not
doesn't
natty.
Matter who you
he
are.
Is here to spread the sport. He is here to spread knowledge and be there and
is
be that energy that fills the room. And he's such a great ambassador.
Just
100%.
Great ambassador for the sport, man. And he just wants people to succeed. And the thing that I always forget that, like, so many people know Ed, and Ed knows so many people. But the thing is, you would think that you were Eddie's best friend when he sees you, because he doesn't forget you. He won't forget a story he has about you, and he'll talk trash to you and all that stuff, kick you in the butt, tell you that you suck, all that good stuff, and then he'll be the first to congratulate you when something goes well. I can honestly tell you, man, I can't count on my hands and fingers at this point how many times, like I've gotten a DM, like, hey, good job, or, hey, if you need help with that squat, let me know. I'm like, hell yeah, whatever you want. Like, I drove, and people that know me know that I'm not just going to drive for anybody. I drove 7 hours for the possibility of just seeing Eddie when he was in Texas. And, and that was a couple years ago. I drove 7 hours just to go up and say hey to him. And not only was he in the middle of a seminar, I walked in and I sat on the side. Eddie stopped the seminar and, to talk about, oh, we got a world champion in the house, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, this is not about me. He stopped his seminar to show me love. And I was literally just in the back like, hey, I just want to say hi. And once the seminar was over with, he stayed and talked to me for like 4 hours. You know what I mean? Knowing damn well he had food to go eat. He had like other appointments he had to get to. Like he was supposed to meet up with some other people. He stayed for 4 hours and talked to me. And I can honestly tell you, I will not hear one bad word said about Ed in my presence. I just can't do it. I mean, and I just, there's some people. I'm sorry, I'm going off right now, but like
No,
that just
I'm loving this. It's fine.
like
I'm in it.
I don't think people like literally understand like how dope Eddie Cohen is. Because all they know is Eddie as a lifter. It's Eddie as a man is what impresses me more than anything. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, even those records damn near have been around longer than a lot of us have been alive. A lot of us have been lifting. You know what I mean? Like, not only that speaks of his strength, but the fact that so many people. There's a reason why so many people love Eddie Cohen, and it's not because
His character.
it's not because of the lifter that he was. And you can try to sully the man as much as you want, like IPF this, IPF that. But you know what, dude? We're all more than our accomplishments. We're all far much more than our accomplishments. We are who we are. And I think the man that Eddie was then, as opposed to the man that Eddie is now, they're two different people. And at the same time, what I mean? It's not that, it's not like what he did was, just doesn't exist. Like the he's a freaking legend. And he's more of a legend. He's got more of a legendary character than anything, And so I think at this point, for him to be where he's at in his career, and he could easily kind of sit back and enjoy the fruits of his labor. And it's like, I'm just going to go to seminar here, and seminar here, and I'm just going to collect these checks. He doesn't do that. He's still out there, hella active. You know what I mean, and trying to make sure that he spread this gospel that is strength sports, and being being at the forefront of this community, man. So yes, I am here for your your placement of Eddie Cohen on the God, man. That's the reason why he's a GOAT. There's the reason why he's a GOAT. All right, I'm done. I'm sorry. That got me hyped. It got me so hyped. Sorry. Continue.
That was great. He's gonna love this. I can't wait to get a text from him about this.
Freaking Eddie Cohen, man. I don't even.
And he supports everybody. Like he wants everybody to win.
Yeah, man. And I think.
I mean, even it's like, oh, hey, I listened to your podcast, or like I know people have like Eddie hit me up, said he listened to my podcast. It's like, and why did Eddie listen to my podcast?
Yeah, like
it's like it's so
okay,
nice.
like I don't deserve that. Like yeah,
no.
And I think that's the biggest part of what I've taken from a lot of these legendary lifters, man, because I think a lot of them, the ones that are still around and the ones that are still active, be it social media, be it showing up at, different, meets or whatever, the fact that, a lot of these guys and guys and girls, they're still, super active in terms of like just the interaction, and because they love the sport. And it's hard for me, to be an athlete in this sport. And I mean, and definitely chime on this if you feel the same way. It's hard for me to be an athlete in strength sports, knowing how much I've gotten from it, and me not want to find some way somehow to give back. Like, how selfish can you be? And we live in a day and age of everyone's take, when there's there's ample opportunity to give back. You know what I mean? And I think maybe that's why maybe that's why I consider you such a good friend, because I do know what goes on behind the scenes with you. And I do know how hard you work, and I do know that what you do is completely saturated in the spirit of giving back. And that's the part that people don't understand. So, I mean, I do get pissed sometimes when I know somebody, like, hey, you think you could hit up Jess and see if she can send me this? Like, my dude, she does so much more than just give people shit. You know what I'm saying? And so, again, for me, I'm like, well, she's my friend, and I want her story to be heard. For those people that follow me and listen to this podcast, like I want people to understand, like, you're more than just the products that you give. You're giving back to the sport in so many ways, aside from just giving out.
And
product.
let me be clear though with like the whole athlete thing.
Yeah.
Yes, I get DMs all the time. Like, what can I do to be an athlete? So let me just clear some stuff up. Gear is not free. It costs us money.
Right.
So that is a form of payment.
Right.
A lot of people don't view it as such, but let me be clear.
You better check that MSRP real quick.
That stuff does cost us money.
Yes,
it
ma'am.
is not free. It may be free to you, but it's not free to us.
No, ma'am.
And at the end of the year, budget was a little rough last year. So when you hit any company up, usually if you rep someone hard enough, they'll find you. So There's that. Two, loyalty. I look for loyalty. They like to wear our stuff genuinely.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's like I don't need to see someone decked out in SBD and like Titan and like, hey, I want to be sponsored, but like your stuff is dope. It's like, oh, is it dope? Because you don't wear it.
I don't see it on you.
Yeah, like
Like,
I don't see you wearing any of our gear, but sure.
girl,
Like let me just send out $150 worth of stuff,
I got a story
and
for you.
literally never worn any of our stuff before.
I've got the stories of all stories for you. Speaking of which, I'm gonna get in trouble. I already know I'm gonna get in trouble.
Hit me.
So is God, I can't remember the exact date, but I mean I got in a little trouble, you know what I mean? But like one of my buddies like, hey man, you need to, you think you could hit them up and see if they could send me some stuff. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, I need some new sleeves, you know what I mean? Maybe some elbow sleeves, maybe some wrist wraps. And this fool is like, mind you, we're not boys, but we're friends. I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, I mean, you're here decked out. You know what I'm saying? You're Mark Bell head to toe. Like, could you get me hooked up? I'm like, first of all, my guy, you don't even know what the stuff is called. He goes, yeah, I want some of them red ones. I'm like, okay. And those the wrist wraps you got. I'm like, okay. And I'm sitting there like, oh, okay. The camel ones you got. I'm like, oh, okay. Which ones are they? He's like, the camel ones. Like, I almost said the N word. My dude, you don't even know what they're called. You don't even know what they're called. So you just want something for free? He's like, yeah, man. He's like, man, that ain't even your company. I'm like, bro, it doesn't even matter who. Like, I at least know what they're called. And like, this is God's honest truth. Anybody that knows me knows like I wear my camos when it's a big bench day. It's my tradition. I have to. Like, everyone has their thing. Like my first 500 that I ever benched, like with a pause, was in the Camo Gangsters. So I'm like, bro, they've got to be around me at all times. So I warm up. That's dope. You know what I'm saying? Top set, they get hit. You know what I'm saying? I record again, cool. I'll throw some other ones. I don't mind. But people have to understand everyone has, their thing. I'm like, dude, this is a part of what I've always done. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna change who I am and how I operate. You know what I mean? Like, and so like the first time that I ever went to super training, man, dude, they opened up those doors with open arms, man, and they treated us like royalty. And I will never forget that as long as I live. And then my thing is this: you can be loyal to your brand. I get that. I am loyal to my brand. But at the same time, I am loyal to the people who have shown me love as well. It's that simple. If you can't show love, you can't reciprocate the straight dopeness that someone's been to you. Like, who are you, man? Like, it's okay to be built where you can show love to other people. It doesn't make you lesser than a person. But like that was one of the things that always kind of, I don't know why, but it just cracked me up. Like, bro, you don't even know what this is called. Goes, man, you Mark Bell head to toe. I'm like, okay. So you just want, you know what? Okay, cool. I got it. So I can definitely feel you on that. Like, like some people don't even wear the stuff, but they're expecting to get it. I mean, because again, I mean, I don't know, like, I guess it's a blessing to curse that that your stuff is so dope that it's damn near currency now. You know what I mean? But then I think they also do forget that it does take currency to make the stuff. That it's not cheap. And like, I mean, I have my
and like let me and like also with that, don't get me wrong. Like, if a company's willing to pay you to wear their stuff outside of just offering you the gear,
yeah,
and it makes a difference to your day to day,
oh yeah, without a doubt,
do it.
Oh, without a doubt,
do it.
Without a doubt. You know what I mean? Like, but
there is stuff that Mark Bell Slingshot can do that others just can't.
Right.
We can give you the exposure. We can show people who you are.
Right.
Build that Instagram clout or whatever it is that you want. There's podcasts, get you in just networking, just being around.
Man, I still haven't been on that podcast, but I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
Bro, if you came to fucking Sacramento, get out of here. How many times did you say you were gonna come this summer? Don't want to
I
hear it.
couldn't come,
Don't
man.
want to
I
hear
could
it.
not
Don't want to
come.
hear
Well,
it.
first of all, I
Fuck
could
you. We
turn.
told you. We told you we would
Time
open the
out. Time out in
doors,
the game.
and
The time that I was going to come, I ended up being put on the world team. So I'm sorry. I was chasing another world championship, and then
Mark
I
knows
could.
who you are. Mark knows that you're the big ass bencher that you are.
Yeah, but I mean,
You know, you're a man after his own heart with
wait,
that
hold on.
bench.
Time out. Did you know? By the time it happens, the Arnold happens. Do you know I just pulled 750?
What?
I'll send you the video, girl. I just pulled 750 and it wasn't even hard. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it.
Who is
Like
he?
I've been working, I've been working so hard at being more than just a bencher. You know what I mean? Because I had tricep tendonitis, so I couldn't bench. Like I think,
Because I had tricep
listen,
tendonitis.
you're gonna have to ask Mark this because I guarantee you he'll tell you the same thing. Like I felt like I didn't know who I was when I couldn't bench over 500. Like I was stuck at 460 and I could not move past it. I tried 515, 520, and it would fly off the chest and I could not get it locked out. I did not know who I was. And I know the day's gonna come when I'm not gonna be able to bench 5, but right now is not the time. So for me not to be able to bench over 500, I was like,
Wait, LS, can we just talk about how, for like a quick second, about how you look like you're 20 something years old
it's not about
and
me right now.
you aren't.
It's not
And
about
you're
me.
strong as fuck
It's
still.
not
Like, I
about
still
me right
feel
now.
like you are not even peaked yet. You know what I mean?
That's
Like,
that's the crazy part. Like I was I was talking to an old I'll call him an old schooler. He'll remain unmentioned. He's like, here's the crazy thing. He goes, you haven't even hit it yet. I'm like, what? He's like, you haven't even hit it yet. I'm like, you mean there's more? He
you
goes,
ain't even peaked yet, bro.
that's crazy. So I'm like, I'm excited. We'll see. I'll be like 15, like 800. Let's go. But I don't know, man. I think at the end of the day, I think for me, it's always been just I've been around just some awesome people, awesome energy. You know what I mean? And I mean, our friendship helps me a lot because it's I'm older and you're younger, and so I'm like like I think I take some of your life force. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna use some of that youth because I need it. I I've been really fortunate. I think that's been the big thing that helps any lifter, any person that's in the sport of strength, any of the disciplines, is that once you become a part of a community and you have your circle of people, your go-to, so to speak, like those are the people that you lean on. Those are the people that you look forward to talking to. Those are the people that really make it worth it. Because I mean, I ain't gonna lie, dude. I've won as much as you can win as far as a raw lifter goes, and so I mean, what else is left? You know what I mean? And it's like the community and leaving this thing better than you found it, and being a part of something special. And I think, what you're trying to do, what Ed's trying to do, what so many of the people in this community are trying to do, is send out more positive vibes and really put people on a path of selflessness rather than selfishness. And that's a part that seems to be missed because there's enough whackness out there that it almost shades the fact that there are people out there that want to grow this sport in the most positive way possible. And
Yeah.
I want to be a part of that. You know what I mean? And so I will send you a text in the middle like, yo, think about you. Hope you're doing well. Keep killing the girl. All right, peace, love you, bye. You know what I mean? Like, because I know that at some point I might post something that's really dumb, and you're like, man, I love you, fool. You're so funny. And then I'm like, yo, I just got a positive penny put in my bank. I needed that for today. Like, and that's the thing that I think people, they forget. I think they feel like, you just you just do your thing and you work your ass off and that's it. But like you do a lot of things behind the scenes. You send out a lot of like just cool little messages here and there. Like whenever you sent me something, it's always been like a cool little note here and there. Like I adore that fact about you because a lot of people have the opportunity to do something like that and they choose not to for whatever reason. But you've always as long as I've known, you've always been that person to make that choice. Like, you know what, I'm gonna go. You always go above and beyond. You always do that little extra, and I think it speaks volumes about your character. And also, there's a reason why you're in the spot that you're at because you work hard. But again, anyone can work hard. It's the person that's willing to do just a little bit more, go a little
Mm-hmm.
bit further, do a little bit extra, and you definitely do that, and it shows. And I think that's always a cool thing to see because I've watched it. I've been at the Arnold, the first couple Arnolds, and I've seen like, oh, like, hey, what's up, Jess? And now I see, you go to the Arnold or you go to a public event and people are like, Jess, oh my God, like that that makes me feel really, really good because you're one of my friends and you work hard, and I like to see people that work hard and do the extra stuff get the respect, love, and adoration that they deserve. And I feel like you deserve that more than anything. Which is crazy.
I'm one of the most popular people you've never heard of.
I cannot stand you. I want to change.
It's like everybody in the well, everyone in the sport or whatever, like they kind of know who I am.
Yeah,
Like everybody else don't know who I am, but it's fine
it's
because
fine.
it's all the important people that do
The,
know
the,
who I
the
am.
people that
That's
matter
what
know.
matters.
That's all that matters. The people that matter know. So we've gotten we left number 4 out. I stalled so you can figure out who your number 4 on that but on your Rushmore is. Do you have number 4?
Shoot. It would probably okay. So I was thinking about it earlier. It's probably my sister.
Yeah.
She's my best friend, but also, um, you know, I wish I could be more like her. Sometimes, because not that I like hold a grudge, but there's a lot of stuff that's happened in my life
Mm-hmm.
where my sister has been able to like work through it
Mm-hmm.
and like make the best of it. And then there's me, who I do make the best of it, but I also like hold on to a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Um, and she's just also like a really good energy.
Mm-hmm.
She changes the temperature of the room.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and she's a cop.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, she does put her life on the line. Like she does stuff that like other people just wouldn't. I don't know. Like she's just a really good person and energy, and like I feel like more people need people like my sister Lindsay around
Shout out
because
Lindsay.
I feel like yeah, shout out Linz. She's my
Okay.
girl.
Hey,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
dope.
I don't know.
That's dope. You I tell you what the coolest thing like that because I do follow you, you know what I mean, on all damn near all platforms of social media, and the coolest thing for me is like watching like your interaction with your dad and with your sister because it always cracks me up. Like you guys have a baller ass relationship, which is so
They
so
gas
so.
me up. They
They don't.
gas me up.
Okay, but like I think that's always been super fun and awesome for me to watch is watching your interaction with with your dad and sister because like I said it's a beautiful thing, man. Like family's just a dope thing, period. You know what I mean? And while I mean everyone has family, um, when you're able to have a great relationship with family and you're able to be to laugh and have those one in a million moments with them quite often, man, it's dope. But then for you like while we don't get to see everything, you let us peek in the blinds just a little bit and kind of see like because like clearly if anybody that follows this you'll know like it's just like all right, they're trying to live
My
life.
sense of humor
Yeah,
is
you're
wild.
off the freaking chain, and so literally, it's like they're trying to live life, and here's Jess just like bah, 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 bah. And it's the funniest thing. I'm like, man, that poor man. Y'all just let him rest. Leave him alone. Leave him alone. He's just trying to live life, and you're just like bah, bah, bah. So it's all.
Okay, my dad, did you see what he posted the other day?
I did not.
I'll send it to you because you're gonna die.
Oh God. Oh God. I don't. Do I even want to know?
It's funny. It is
Oh
funny.
man, that's dope, man. But
My dad does photo shoots out in the middle of the desert with his bike. He goes, "Don't call the cops. I escaped."
oh my
Like what?
God. Like who does that? He does. But
My
yeah,
dad.
so we have on your list, number 1 was Pops. Number 2 was Ellen. Number 3 was Eddie. And number 4 was your sis. That's dope. That's a pretty solid list. That's a pretty solid little Mount Rushmore. Well, dang, that's dope. I'm excited about the next one. It's easy. It's a bucket list.
Oh,
You thought it was
okay.
the last one. Nope. You got bucket list. Three things that you want to do, or just three places you want to go, three people you want to meet, whatever. Three things you want to do that are on your bucket list. Go.
Three things that I want to do on my bucket list.
Mm-hmm.
One for sure is traveling.
That's what's up.
So, Greece. There's like an underwater city that you can like dive into and like explore, like a little tour.
Say word.
That would be dope.
That would be super dope.
What's another bucket list thing for me? Shoot. I want to make a viral video. I think that would be so dope.
You could do it. I think you could do it. You could definitely do it.
I could do it for something I did on accident, like not something I like planned out, you know? Like
Yeah.
it's just like, oh, just being an idiot again.
You just gotta have that. You just like somebody's gonna have to follow you around with a camera and just like, oh, we found it. We got gold. The thing is, I think viral moments find you. You don't necessarily find them. But there's some people that literally can just go viral. Like they just have this knack for like, you know what I'm saying? Like they just, I don't know. That would be
not
dope.
I don't want to do it for like the clout or anything, just to be like, yeah, I did that once. Like
I want to just have things on my list. Like, I mean, back in 2020, I went viral. No big deal.
Back in Nam, I went
back in Nam, get out of here. So yeah, that would be dope to go viral. Be
totally random, but like I've never really thought about it, but like that would be kind of cool. I don't know.
I don't know. I think that would be like. I mean, because like honestly, like what else? I mean, there's so many other things you could do, but that's one thing that it's just like not everyone can do. It's like I just went viral. Like viral, yeah. I mean, I had that one video. Had like 100 million views or whatever. It was crazy. I don't know. It was a big deal.
It was crazy.
I got invited on Ellen a little bit for it. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, Ellen, so like that's kind of like a thing. If you go viral, you can go on Ellen.
That's what I'm saying. I would love.
Let's go.
I remember when
So that's like a B, like a subsection.
Oh yeah, for sure. To like going viral, like I want to go viral, and as a result, go on Ellen. Like I would love to sit in that couch. I honestly, I want to be scared. I want to be on that couch and get scared. I think I would lose my brain, but I'd probably be crying the whole time because I love Ellen so much. Like I really like I have an unhealthy obsession with Ellen. Like I don't know. I definitely think going viral and making it on Ellen, that would be dope. But I think I'm too old to actually have like the Ellen moment. Because like, I feel like the only ones that really like go viral and make Ellen are the little kids, the cute little kids, and Marisa Enda, because she can do everything. So, but you could do it.
No, you can.
You know what?
Anything's possible, Ellis.
Yeah.
If you just believe.
Okay, Disney, maybe not.
Yeah. Okay.
What about the third thing on bucket list? It's not about me. It's about you. We got traveling. We got viral.
I don't know, like do something stupid that might kill me, but it would be like the best time of my life, like
scuba diving, skydiving, something like that.
Yeah, like it's like skydiving or like doing some crazy shit that, so like a thing for me is like I like to take risks.
Same.
And like even if it could totally not pay out, like I could totally get screwed. Like I'm kind of okay with that. Just like taking a leap of faith. Like that's
the thing. Like I had Danny Lera on from Caffeine Kilos, and he's like, I want to go run with the Bulls. I was like, oh, yes. I thought about doing it. Even looked like, I mean, there's like cheap vacations that you can go run with the Bulls, but I'm like, dude, my luck is I would be that guy that tripped and fell. I would be that guy, and you know what? Surprise, surprise! I would be that guy that tripped and fell, and I would get gouged by a bull. Somebody would record it, and that's how I would go viral.
He did, but he went viral.
Like he went viral. He's done now, but I mean, it was funny at the time, but he died because he got trampled. And but yeah, I feel that, man. Like I've always wanted to do something just actually like, dude, I would never, like, I want a moment like somebody's like, I would never do that. Like, but it's just there's not a lot of moments that I think that somebody like I would never do that probably wouldn't get me killed.
Yeah.
Like I just, you know what I mean? Like so I was like, man, well, I don't know. Yeah, there's so many things that you could do. I thought about there's that one spot. I forget where it's at. Maybe it's in Europe. No. I think it's in somewhere in Asia where there's like the highest bungee jump like in the world or whatever, and like you can jump off, and I think like you're literally falling for like I think they say like 30 seconds, 30, 40 seconds. Like I think I probably would have a heart attack. But to literally be free falling for that long, and then the last
Would be dope.
I know for I don't know. I think I might. I don't know. I think I might be too old for that one, bro. Like my heart's not. That's for you. Got that. So I don't know, man.
You.
I don't know. Ugh! I don't even like. I'm like my palms sweating thinking about it. Okay, let's do this last question. You got it. You got this. You got this.
Do I?
I believe you
Because,
too.
by the way, this isn't from like a song or anything. Like, this isn't from like a show. Like, this is from Reddit.
It's from Reddit. So the question is, everyone that knows the traditional questions, they know that I already asked the first two. Now the third one is, gun to your head in the alley. The assailant says to you, the only way that you're going to make this out of here alive is you got to do 20 or 30 seconds of your favorite song or rap lyric or whatever, but it's got to be verbatim. If you don't make it in 20 or 30 seconds, bang, 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 choo-choo train. And
Well, I don't think it'll be 30 seconds. I think it'll be about 15.
well, you know what? You better make it the greatest 15 ever, or it's going to be bang, bang, chitty, chitty, bang, bang. So, does it have a title? I don't even know if
It is NSFW. This is a this is a 2-minute long voice. I haven't memorized the whole thing. I just memorized the first part because I wanted to make a funny video for my sister, so I memorized the first part. The backstory is this lady got her schedule changed, and she left a 2-minute long voicemail. Her boss's fucking voicemail. And it goes something like this.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for this.
I kind of want to get the beat going. Hold on, I'm gonna see if I can get it.
Okay, take your time. Quality takes time.
This is for Rachel. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it or not.
Oh, you're gonna play it in the background when you do it? You can.
Yeah. I wonder if we could just do. I don't know if it'll probably have her singing in the background, but I kind of want the background going when. Okay. I don't know if you can hear this.
It's okay. If I can't, you can always just send me the link and I can put it behind you.
Can you hear it?
No.
No. Hold on. Took the headphones off. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Oh my God, I hate myself so much. I hate you for asking me this.
Listen, you don't have to do this. You can do something else.
What am I gonna do?
I don't know. That I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, I can hear it.
Oh my God.
This is for Rachel, you big fat white man, smelling fat bitch. Why you took me off the motherfucking schedule with your trifling dirty white racist ass bitch with the long body ass bitch. I'm coming, I'm sorry, and I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you, bitch. And Don't even call. I'm coming.
Oh my.
I got so red. I got so hot.
Oh, listen, you made it. You made it. You made it as far as you could. God, I forgot about that.
Bad. It is so bad, but it's like one of my favorite videos of all time.
Oh my gosh, I needed that. I literally have to do 2 hours of cardio right now, and I do not want to do it, but I'm pretty sure I'm
This
gonna pull
is
that
for
up.
Rachel. This is for LS.
Oh, I'm done with you. I'm gonna call you and leave that message.
Be off the motherfucking schedule with your trying.
All right, so question: will you be at the Arnold?
Yes.
Yes. Second question: where can people find you? Because you took a little hiatus from social media.
I took a 6-month hiatus from social media.
And now you're back.
People were asking me if I blocked them
I
because I
honestly
deleted it. I deleted it and I was like, look, I needed a break. To be honest, I was going through some stuff,
right.
personal stuff, and I just needed, it was taking up a lot of time and I was getting hit up and I was getting overwhelmed. So I decided to take a break. And that break took 6 months.
That's
and then
all good.
I popped back on. People seem to be really pleased that I'm back.
Yeah, man, we needed you. The game needed you. No, yeah. And I didn't think you blocked me. Say what?
Did you get my Christmas card?
I did, and it's still on my refrigerator.
So that was my intro back into social media.
You're so goofy, dude. That's so funny. I mean, I sent you a few messages, and like they like completely went unanswered for a while, and I was like, I'm gonna keep sending them. I don't know how many I sent before you finally like, hey, what's up? And I'm like, oh, okay, you're alive. I worry about my people.
Yeah, well, I just took some time. Anyway, you can find me on social media.
Oh yeah,
at Jessica_Smith, JSSKA_Smith.
and I'll put it up there so people see.
Basic bitch name on the human planet, and it's Jessica Smith. That's my name.
I mean, it could be worse. Yeah, it is pretty basic. But you're not basic, so boom. So, but I do appreciate you being on this more than you'll ever know. This means the world to me that you would take an hour and 31 minutes of your day and devote it to talking to me. It's great. I am beside myself. I almost want to cry, but I'm not. Because I'm a crybaby though, so you already know. Whatever. I really do appreciate you. I appreciate what you do for the community. I really appreciate how hard you work, and I know a lot of what you do goes completely unnoticed. I know that a lot of what you do, it goes completely unthanked. Um, you know, you know how much you mean to me. You know how much I love you. You mean a lot to a lot of us. But you know, you've always 100 with me. You've always been, just you're just a joy to be around, man. And I think I don't know if I've ever told you. I mean, I think I have, but in case I've not told you. In case you didn't know, like I really do appreciate what you do. I appreciate who you are. I appreciate you've evolved and you continue to evolve, and you just keep getting better and better and better. And you're not stagnant, and that's something to be admired. That's something to look up to. And like I said, I say it a lot. Doing this podcast, I don't interview anybody that I don't look up to. That there's something about them that I don't find value in, and I think you're one of the most valued people that I have in my life, in my circle. And I try to let you know that by the way I treat you. But
you do, just so you know.
Well, good then. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is my friend, the Queen, Miss Jessica Smith. Thank you so much for being on this. It does mean a lot. Thank you.
Love you, buddy.
Bye.
Bye.